Introducing your 2011 AAA Blues. Defenseman, number 2, Patrick Komodowski. Defenseman, number 7, Hutch Rubis. Forward, number 9, Tyson Boyer. Defenseman, number 10, John Peterson. Defenseman, number 11, Malachi Smith. Defenseman, number 12, Linus Brooks. Forward, number 13, Brandon Bauer. Forward, number 16, Braden Harris. Forward, number 17, Jackson Giorgio. Defenseman, number 19, Emerson Minimin. Forward, number 21, Mason Blanchard. Forward, number 27, Grant Fugner. Forward, number 29, Ian Bowers. Goalie, number 30, Max Stutzer. Goalie, number 31, Luke Scanapieko. Forward, number 66, Braden Schneider. Forward, number 85, Gordon Crowley. Forward, number 88, Luke Wessel. Forward, number 91, Jonathan Zilm. Forward, number 93, Ben Spatansky.
Okay, let's go.
Good afternoon, Blues fans. We are live at Centene Community Ice Center here in St. Louis for today's exhibition matchup between your St. Louis Blues and the 15U Central States Chesterfield Falcons. Just wrapped up warm-ups. Blues are getting final instruction from the bench. They did their Let's Go Blues chant. Blues are going to send out Crowley, Schneider, Bowers up front to get this game started. Miniman and Komodowski will be the defensive pair. Stutzer will get the start in today's game. And we are ready to get this game underway. Face-off won by Chesterfield. Blues take it. They throw it into the Chesterfield zone. Chesterfield grabs that pass. They send it right back into the Blues zone. Miniman blows a tire, gets the puck to Komodowski, who takes it behind his own net. Komodowski skates it out. He tips it forward for Crowley. Crowley gets it knocked off of his stick, and then a big hit by Crowley on a Chesterfield player breaks that up. Miniman reverses behind the net for Komodowski. Komodowski hits Bowers. Bowers goes far side for Schneider. He tips it forward, gloved down by Chesterfield. Schneider battles now in the corner. Crowley helps him out. He comes away with the puck. He skates it, tries to put it to the front. That puck gets knocked off of his stick, and then Chesterfield, on a clearing attempt, puts it into the netting over the glass. Blues make a wholesale line change. They send out the, see what line this is. Giorgio, Bowers, and Harris up front. Malachi Smith will be playing with Linus Brooks today on defense for this shift. Face-off won by the Blues back to Brooks. He skates the line. He takes a long shot. That's deflected on net. Harris gets the rebound. Good save by the Chesterfield Falcons goaltender as Giorgio puts it in front for Bauer, and he buries on the one-timer, putting the Blues up by one just under a minute into this game. So Bauer from Giorgio to put the Blues up by a goal. No change in personnel for the Blues for the center ice face-off, which is won by the Blues. They push it forward. Chesterfield takes over in their own zone. They send it off the board's far side. Big hit by Brooks breaks up that play. Malachi Smith circles his own zone, taps it to Bowers. Bowers' pass across ice is picked off by Chesterfield. They're going to put it deep in the zone for Brooks to pick. He has a reverse check on his guy and then gets knocked down. Malachi Smith comes away with the puck, gets knocked off of his stick, and now we have two Blues players battling two Chesterfield players behind the net. Puck stops right behind the net, pops out in front. Chesterfield grabs it, goes out to the point, slaps shot. That goes wide of the net. It's going to come all the way out of the zone, and Chesterfield's going to have to retrieve this from their own zone. They send a quick pass forward. That's picked off by Rubis, and here he comes into the Chesterfield zone. He circles on the sideboards. He goes back to Spatansky covering the puck. Shot blocker saved by Chesterfield's goaltender. Good stick by Spatansky, breaks up the exit as he then chases the puck in the net. He takes a hit but gets the puck to Wessel. Wessel sends it out to Peterson. Peterson's shot, that's just wide of the net. Spatansky battles for it on the side of the cage. It goes to the far corner. Wessel comes away with it, sends it back to Peterson. Peterson's shot hits the stick in front, bounces to the corner. Chesterfield, tired of this, they're going to send it high off the boards, and that's going to go all the way down for an icing. So Blues will have the Spatansky line up front, continuing their shift. Wessel and Blanchard on the wings. The defensive unit is going to be Komodowski and Miniman. Offensive zone faceoff is going to come up to the right of the Chesterfield goalie. One back to the point to Komodowski. Puck is sent down to the sideboards. Wessel's pass is picked off, and Chesterfield is able to almost clear the zone, but good stick by Miniman holds it in. Chesterfield's pass out of the reach of their guys go all the way down. Miniman has to retreat behind his own net with that puck. He stops and reverses. He goes up the sideboards for Blanchard. His pass is picked off. Chesterfield puts it back in deep. It's going to go behind the net for Komodowski. He sends it up the sideboards. Wessel waits for the puck there. He's going to skate it out of the Blues zone. Makes his first move, gets it up to Spatansky. Spatansky chips it around one man, hits his man in the corner as Wessel now battles. Chesterfield comes away with it, and they're coming through the neutral zone. He crosses into the Blues zone. They take it into the corner. Blues are all over him, knock the puck off his stick, but another Chesterfield player grabs it. They skate behind the net, send it out to the point. Nobody in front, long shot, easy glove save for Stutzer with 12:52 left here in the first period. Blues send out a fresh unit. They have Fugner centering Boyer and Zilm up front. Defensive unit is Brooks and Malachi Smith. Face-off won by Chesterfield. They put it in deep. Malachi Smith puts it hard behind the net. Boyer pinches back to help grab that one. Brooks throws it up the sideboards. Goes right to the defenseman. They take a shot. Pad saved by Stutzer goes to the far corner. Now the Blues battle. That's Fugner and Smith. Battles two Chesterfield players. Puck goes out all the way to the point. Long shot. That's deflected to the corner by Brooks. He sends it hard up the boards to Boyer. Boyer chips it around one man. He gets a little bit of a slash, is able to get it over to Zilm. Zilm drops it for Fugner. He makes a move back to Zilm in the corner. Zilm tries to hit Boyer in front. That's tipped off of his stick and goes back out to the neutral zone. Brooks regroups in his own zone, sends it over to his partner Smith. Smith to Fugner. Fugner tips it to Zilm, and then the puck bounces off his stick. Chesterfield takes it behind their own net. They make a pass. Schneider causes the turnover right to Crowley's shot, blocker save. And heads up, here comes Chesterfield 2-on-2 back into the blue zone. Shot blocked by Crowley, and then he gets railed, knocked down to the boards head first. Puck comes around to Rubis. Rubis goes to Bowers. Bowers pass to Schneider is off the mark. And here comes Chesterfield back out. Good hold at the blue line by Rubis. And then a good hit by Bowers breaks that up. And now Peterson stops, grabs the puck. He's going to go far side. Pass to Crowley out of his reach. Goes right onto Schneider's stick. His pass to Bowers just out of his reach. And here comes the Blues in the neutral zone trying to push back through. Good stick by Harris. Gets around one man. Blues got a man open in front. Harris wide open shot right into the midsection of Chesterfield's goaltender, and they hold on to it. Blues complete the line change. Giorgio will be centering Harris, and they are joined by Bauer, who has the Blues goal tonight. Miniman Komodowski, the defensive pair for this shift. Giorgio lines up to take this offensive zone face-off to the left of the Chesterfield goaltender. Won by Chesterfield. They clear and heads up 2-on-1 back into the blue zone. Good back check by Bowers. They're able to get a shot from the side of the circle, and that's easily stopped and held onto by Stutzer. We'll have a defensive zone face-off to the left of Max. No change in personnel for the Blues. Face-off, one to the corner. Komodowski goes behind the net for Miniman. Miniman tries to go up the boards. Bauer was covered, but still able to push it forward. And here comes Harris. We got a 3-on-1. Gets it over to, who was that? To Komodowski. His shot is blocked, and now here comes Chesterfield back. Good hold at the line by Giorgio. Gets it back to Harris, and he has it knocked off his stick. Goes back to the neutral zone. Bauer sends it back to Komodowski. Komodowski to Harris. He's got one man to get around, and does so. Here he comes. Shot! He goes just wide of the glove. Goes all the way out to Miniman. Miniman's shot deflects just wide the opposite side. Harris picks up the loose puck. He's going to reverse and put it in deep and go for a change as Giorgio battles a man. Bauer stepped up to get his guy. Puck comes out to the neutral zone, and Blues put it back in deep. Wessel on the forecheck hits his man. Puck stops in the corner. Wessel battles for it. Now he's got another Chesterfield player to contend with. They send it up the sideboards. Blanchard knocks it down, but Chesterfield comes away with it. Goes out to the point, put back in deep by Brooks. Blanchard gets around one man to the bottom of the circle in the corner. He tries to send it back to the point. Good stick by Chesterfield, and they are coming back into the blue zone. Their entry pass hits off a blue shin pad, and here comes Wessel. He tries to push it around one man. They go D to D in their own zone in front of the net. Pull up, top of their circle, send it far side, and here they come with speed into the blue zone. Malachi Smith does a good job keeping him to the outside. Puck's bobbled in the corner. Spatansky helps him out. Malachi Smith comes away with it, goes down to the sideboards, reverses back to the corner, goes behind the net for his partner, Brooks. Brooks has it roll off him, heads up. Blues catch an errant pass, and good behind-the-back pass from Wessel goes to Spatansky. His shot paddled to the corner by the goaltender. He then sends his own rebound out to Malachi Smith. He gets it, shoots. That's blocked in front by the shin pad of a Falcons player. They go behind their own net, reverse. They're going to do a stretch pass far side. Malachi Smith cuts him off. Chesterfield came away with the puck, but it bounces off of his stick. Bugner grabs the loose puck, sends it to Brooks. Brooks' pass is off the mark. Chesterfield comes away with it back behind the Blues net. Try to center to the front, gets knocked back behind. Comes out to the point, long shot. That hits off of that's Malachi Smith's leg. Blues come away with the loose puck. Bugner sends it off the glass, gives it to Boyer. Boyer's pass to Zilm is picked off, and Chesterfield brings the puck back in their own zone, so no offsides against the Blues. Little chip pass by Chesterfield. Good hit by Boyer, breaks up that play. Bugner gives it to Brooks. Brooks back to Bugner. He goes to Rubis. Rubis puts it in deep as the Blues go for a change. Schneider on the forecheck now, picks off the pass. He battles a man. Comes all the way out to the point. Long shot by Peterson. Blocker there. Schneider picks up the loose puck. He has it knocked off of his stick. And good stick by, heavy late hit. Schneider can't go back into the zone, so they go D to D. And now the Blues grab it. Ian Bowers grabs it. He puts it off the referee into the corner. Schneider beats his man to it, takes it behind the net. and Chesterfield has it as it bounces and goes back. Rubis tries to glove a puck down, misses, goes all the way down the blue zone for Peterson. Peterson reverses up the boards for Rubis. Rubis circles, tries to go to Crowley. It's knocked off of his stick, and here comes Chesterfield back in. Good glove by Rubis, breaks that up, and here comes Rubis into the zone, drops for Bauer. Bauer, long shot. That hits the player in front, knocks him down. Bauer comes away with it, gives it to Crowley. Crowley over to Harris. Harris out to the point to Miniman. Miniman to Rubis. Rubis shot, that's blocked. Harris fights for it in the corner. He gets knocked down. Chesterfield comes away with it. Rubis holds the line, sends it back to Bowers. Bowers tries to put it in deep. It doesn't get enough on it, but Giorgio caused a turnover that Harris then lost right back. Good pinch by Rubis. He's got room. Oh, he tries to cut to the center, rolls off his stick, and here comes Chesterfield, 2-on-2 back into the blue zone. Nothing going. They put it on net, and Max is just going to cover it and take the whistle. 6:30 left here in the first period. Blues lead 1-0. They're going to complete the line change. Rubis retreats to the bench. Komodowski comes on to join his partner Miniman on defense. Forward unit will continue in Giorgio, Bauer, and Harris. Face off, won by the Blues, hits the side of the cage. Komodowski sends it behind the net for Miniman. Miniman's pass to a covered Harris, incomplete. Chesterfield comes away with it. Komodowski puts his man down, but the puck goes out to the point. They go back into the corner, bounces off their player's stick. Miniman grabs it, goes up the boards for Bauer. Bauer tries to clear the zone. It's intercepted. Back to Miniman. Miniman gets it to Giorgio. Giorgio's pass to his winger out of his reach, and we will have an icing against the Blues with 5:59 left here in the first period. Blues send out a fresh forward unit with Spatansky, Wessel, and Blanchard up front. Miniman Komodowski will continue on defense. Defensive zone faceoff comes to the right of Stutzer. That is won by Chesterfield. They send it out to the point. Long shot. Hits off the skate of Komodowski. Goes to the far corner. He holds up his man. Battles. He's got another man there. Now Spatansky comes in to help him out. Puck squirts to Wessel. He tries to go far side for Blanchard. That puck is picked off. Sent back to the blue zone. Miniman gives it to his partner Komodowski. Komodowski back to Miniman. He sends it up to Blanchard. Blanchard nowhere to go. Tries to push it forward. That's picked off. Good step up by Spatansky at the line. Holds this in and he puts it in deep. Wesseling on the forecheck. They reverse behind their own net. And they're able to make a clean zone exit. And heads up. They've got a 2-on-1. Good. I don't know what that puck hit on the pass, but they were unable to connect. So Blues got it back. And here comes Wessel now down the outside. Wow, dangerous hit. Lower body, knee-to-knee contact there as the Blues defense turn over the puck, give a breakaway, and luckily Stutzer's up for the challenge. Puck comes up to Wessel. Wessel's going to put it high out. That's going to go on net, so no icing. Spatansky gets chased. Chesterfield grabs it, sends it around the sideboard. Passes picked off by Boyer. He tips it to Zilm. Zilm back to Boyer. He tries to put it behind the net. Chesterfield comes away with it. And here comes Chesterfield back out. Fugner's going to chase this back into the blue zone. He goes in front of the net to Brooks. Brooks up the sideboards to Boyer. Boyer takes the hit, gets the puck across ice. Chesterfield unfortunately comes away with it. Good forecheck by Fugner, knocks off his stick. Here comes Boyer's shot. Amazing glove save by the Falcons goalie. And then a pinch by Malachi Smith, and he's going to take it behind the net. Blues need to be careful here. Nobody back on the point, and Zilm retreats. Shot by Brooks is blocked. Boyer comes away with the rebound. He reverses to Zilm. Zilm pushes it farther behind the net. Fugner's going to pick it up. And Fugner battles two men. He reverses behind the net, takes a shot from the side. That hits off either the shoulder or the side of the net. And Chesterfield now comes away with it as they try to clear. Here come the Blues, or the Falcons, sorry. And good hit step up by Malachi Smith, knocks the puck off of their stick. Brooks brings it forward and throws it in deep. Blues are completing a line change here. Snyder in on the forecheck, and he wipes out. Here goes Good pick off by Bowers, and then he has it picked off of him. Heads up, Blues defense falls shot, and that's a goal. So he had a forward fall, turnover by another player right at the blue line, and then a defenseman blows an edge, and the Blues let Chesterfield tie this up 1-1. Can't play like that. Okay, Blues win the face-off. Bowers puts it in deep. Schneider in on the forecheck far corner as it went all the way around. He disrupts the play. Chesterfield turns it over. Bowers tries to put it in deep. Crowley grabs it. He tries to drop it for Schneider. It goes out to the point, and that's going to go into the netting, and we will have a offensive zone face-off to the right of the Chesterfield goaltender. No change in personnel for the Blues. Crowley centering Bowers and Schneider up front. Rubis and Peterson, the defensive pair. Chesterfield center is going to get tossed as their wingers thought it was okay to join him at the dot. Face off, won by Chesterfield. They try to put it behind the net, hits the seam in the glass. They get it out to Schneider in front. He can't get a stick on it. Crowley forecheck. Puck comes all the way out to the point. Peterson has it. Shot, blocker save. Crowley grabs it, goes back around. Nobody home for the Blues. Great pinch by Peterson. Holds it in. He tries to cut it towards the center. He's got people all over him, and that puck is just thrown out. Rubis has to hustle back to get that. He reverses, throws it back into the neutral zone. Picked up by them. Schneider intercepts the pass. He pulls up. Blues get it into the zone. Rubis sends it to Bowers. Bowers tries to keep pushing it forward, shakes off another hit, and they come away with it, circle behind their own net, and now they're going to break through the neutral zone. Giorgio picks off the pass, sends it back to Peterson. Peterson's pass to Harris is off the mark. Chesterfield grabs that one, and then their pass picked off by Peterson again. Harris grabs it, circles in his own zone, goes over to Rubis. Rubis goes up to Bauer. Bauer tips it forward for Giorgio, just out of his reach. And here come Chesterfield back to the neutral zone. Blues pick off their pass. Harris skates it into the Blues zone, drops it for Bauer, gets knocked off of his stick. Chesterfield takes it behind their own net. They reverse. Harris now battles his man. Good stick by Giorgio, broke that up. And here comes Chesterfield back in. Long shot saved by Stutzer, goes behind the net. Komodowski picks it up. He sends it up to Bauer. Bauer's going to skate it over the red line. He's going to put it in deep and go for a change. Chesterfield has plenty of time to set up as the whole Blues team changed. They go D to D behind their own net a few times. Now they bring it out the side. Their pass up is deflected. That's going to go all the way down. They call off icing as Komodowski beats it to the line. He goes up the far side, sends it to Wessel. Wessel hits Miniman. Miniman's going to cross the red line. He puts it in deep, and now the Blues can go on the forecheck. Tansky catches up to the far corner. Chesterfield puts it up the boards. Komodowski puts it back in deep. Good hit by Spatansky, runs him off the puck. Blanchard uses his stick to push it towards the point. Now he's got two men there. They're finally able to clear, and Chesterfield's going to take it deep into the Blue zone. Good stick by Komodowski, breaks that up. He's going to skate it up. His pass to Blanchard almost picked off. Blanchard picks it up. Then Spatansky can't corral it, so back to the Blue zone Chesterfield goes, but they are offsides. Blues send out a fresh defensive unit. They've got Brooks and Smith out. Spatansky, Blanchard, and Wessel will finish out this period as there's only 22 seconds left as the forward unit. Blues win the draw. They send it up the sideboards. Chesterfield comes away with it, and they put it in front of the net. Good skate by Smith. Then he turns it over but takes it right back. He gives it up to Blanchard. Blanchard crosses into the zone with 5 seconds left. He sends it to Wessel. Wessel tries to put it in front, and that's going to do it for the first period. Your Blues and the Chesterfield Falcons 15U AA tied at 1. We'll be back for the second shortly. And Linus Brooks will continue as the defensive pairing. 16 minutes on the clock as we enter this second frame. Center ice faceoff is won by Chesterfield. They go D to D in their own zone. They go D to D again. They're trying to stretch the ice. They send it back to the D. Now they go up the far boards. They chip it forward. That puck is knocked off the stick by Zilm. They have to retreat to their own zone. They go far side this time. They cross the red line. They try to put it in deep. Hits off the stick of Brooks. He now takes it into the corner. He goes behind the net to his partner, Smith. Smith's going to skate up the boards. His pass, not sure where, I don't know who he was passing to. There's nobody there, and it goes all the way down for icing against the Blues. So 15:27 left here in the second period. Blues make a line change. They send out Crowley, Bowers, Schneider up front. Peterson, Rubis, the defensive pair. Off defensive zone face-off, won by Crowley. He gets it back to Rubis. Rubis's pass hits off the seam in the glass, goes right to Peterson. Peterson hits Bowers. Bowers tries to get to the front. Crowley tries to get towards the net, does so, but it's blocked by the goaltender. Their exit pass goes right out to Rubis. His shot saved by the blocker, and here comes Chesterfield back into the neutral zone. They go far side. They drop pass. Good stick by Schneider, breaks that up. Bowers pass a little behind Schneider, can't catch it. Now Schneider goes in on the forecheck. They go far side D to D, and heads up. They've got numbers coming the other way as Rubis got caught on a pinch. Good step up by Peterson, breaks that up. And Bauer, fresh on the ice, grabs it and goes forward. Blues complete a line change as Schneider and Crowley retreat to the bench for Giorgio and Harris to join Bauer on the ice. Harris picks off the pass. He tries to take it towards the net. He gets stood up by three Chesterfield players. He gets it out to Giorgio. Giorgio to Rubis. Rubis over to Komodowski. Komodowski brings it in, shot. That is saved by the goalie. Goes far corner. Chesterfield comes with the loose puck. Giorgio's all over him. Chesterfield sends it up the boards around him, and here they come out of their own zone. And their entry pass into the zone picked off by Rubis, goes right to the stick of Komodowski. He stops behind his own net, reverses to Rubis. Rubis hits Harris on the seam pass up the boards, and Harris brings it all the way into the zone, cuts towards the net. Long shot, blocked by the goalie, rebound right in front, nobody home for the Blues. And heads up, here comes Chesterfield back into the Blues zone, 3-on-2. Good back check by the Blues. Miniman's pass is fanned on, goes right to a Chesterfield player. They send it to the point, heads up, long shot, that's fluttering, goes high of the net. Harris tips it to Komodowski. Komodowski goes over to Miniman. Miniman crosses the red line with it, crosses into the zone with it, tries to put it to the front to Spatansky, can't get it there. Puck comes all the way out to the point to a covering. Oh boy, Spatansky on a good pass from, I think that was Wessel, hits the post. Chesterfield comes away with it. They're going to cross into the neutral zone. Wessel breaks that play up. Plancher grabs it, puts it back high off the glass, gloved down by Spatansky, and then Chesterfield reclaims the puck, and they get it back to the neutral zone. Nowhere to go with it. They throw it in hard behind the net. Komodowski picks it up, and he's going to skate it out of the blue zone, gives it to his partner Miniman. Miniman off the boards to Blanchard, and I'm not sure what Blanchard was doing, but stepped over the puck instead of touching it, and that's going to go all the way for icing. 12:34 left. 12:32 left. Scorekeeper didn't stop the clock there, so 12:32 left here in the second period. Tie game 1-1. Blues send out the Fugner-Boyer-Zilm line with Brooks and Smith is the defensive pair. Refs are adjusting Max's net as it was not staying put on its pegs. Face-off won by Chesterfield, goes to their point. They take a shot that hits off the rear end of a Blues player. Bugner and Smith battle two Chesterfield players. Chesterfield comes away with it. They try to put it in front. Good leg pad save by Brooks, breaks that up. Puck comes to the sideboards to Boyer, and he battles two players. Brooks helps him out, takes the body. Puck bounce off his stick to Fugner. Fugner takes it behind the net, reverses. He goes back behind the net to Brooks. Brooks got a man all over him, tries to get it to Smith, gets it into the corner. Zilm picks it up, drops it back for Smith. Heavy forecheck here by Chesterfield as finally Blue's able to clear the zone as Brooks tried to pass it to Boyer, but it's out of his reach. Bugner picks off the pass. He's going to put it in deep off the glove of a Chesterfield player, and they retrieve it behind their own net. We're going to go up the sideboards. Pass picked off by Smith. Bugner grabs the loose puck, puts it back in deep. Chesterfield comes back with it. They've got numbers coming this way. Pass just out of their reach. Otherwise, they would have had a really good shot at a open net there. Blues cause a turnover. Brooks picks it up behind the net. His pass up the sideboards is picked off. Schneider now grabs that loose puck. He goes far side. That puck's gets picked off. And here comes Chesterfield back to the Blue zone with it. And it bounced off their stick, goes into the corner. Good save by Stutzy there on another partial breakdown. Crowley comes away with it. He's taking it in. He's got room. Tries to get to the front. Oh, nobody home for the Blues as Bowers was tied up by a Chesterfield player. Comes out to the point. They send it back to Rubis. Rubis puts it towards the net. That's blocker to the far corner. Schneider picks it up. He goes out to the point to Peterson. Peterson has it bounce on him, and he's doing the best he can to make a move. Holds it at the blue line, and he's just going to keep pushing it farther. Crowley comes in to help him out. Schneider covers the point. Bowers waits at the top of the slot, and Chesterfield comes away with it. They go D to D in front of their own net. They make it up, send it out. That's going to go all the way down for what should be icing, and it is. So icing against Chesterfield. Blues will do a wholesale line change. Komodowski, Miniman come on the ice for defense. Giorgio, Bauer, Harris will be the offensive unit. 10:16 left here in the second period. Blues and Chesterfield tied 1-1. Offensive zone faceoff is won by Giorgio out to Miniman. Miniman slap shot deflects on net, and Giorgio's going to put it in for a goal. So Giorgio picks up the rebound in front and slides it past the pad of the Falcons goaltender to put the Blues back up by a goal here with 10:11 left in the second period. And no change in personnel for the Blues. Giorgio wins that draw back to Komodowski. He circles in the Blues zone, gives it to his partner Miniman. Miniman, his pass picked off, heads up. Here comes Chesterfield back in. They circle on the sideboards and reverse behind their own net. They send it back, try to get to the front, picked off by Giorgio. Giorgio gets it knocked off of his stick. Komodowski sends it around the boards to Harris. Harris tries to give it to Giorgio and it completes it. I thought that was going to be behind him, but good stick by Giorgio. And Giorgio drops it for Komodowski. Komodowski's shot then hits Giorgio, who had passed it to him. And Chesterfield comes away with the loose puck in front of their net, and they're going to bring it back. Long shot, saved by Stutzer, goes to the sideboards. Chesterfield came back away with it, and he goes around Miniman, takes it behind the net, and nowhere to go with it, so he reverses. Puck comes back behind the net. Blues send it out high off the boards. Harris tries to knock it around his guy, does so. Chesterfield player grabs it, puts it back in deep. Komodowski goes to Miniman, far side. Miniman tries to give it to Bauer. Bauer gets it to Spatansky. All kinds of random line players on the ice here. And, we're playing delayed offside, so we're playing midget rules. Chesterfield brings it back in. They take it behind the Blues net. Nobody going to the puck. They go far side to the far point. Wide open shot. Rebound right in front. Good save by Stutzer. Puck comes back out to the point. Another shot. Blocked off the stick of Wessel. Goes right to Spatansky. Spatansky to Blanchard all the way across ice for Wessel. And Chesterfield picks that one off. Blanchard with a good stick takes it back. He reverses behind his back for Brooks. Brooks long shot on net. Glove save and held on to by the Falcons goaltender here with 8:21 left here in the second period. Blues send out a fresh forward unit. Fugner, Zilm, Boyer up front. Smith and Brooks will continue on defense. Offensive zone faceoff is won by the Blues. Buchner sends it back to Brooks. Brooks' shot hits a crossbar and goes into the netting. So we'll have a stoppage in play with 8:17 left in the second. We're going to do it again from their right-hand side of the Falcons goalie. Buchner lines up for this draw, ties the man up. Chesterfield comes away with it. They go hard off the boards. Smith grabs at the point. He sends it towards the net. Deflects just wide. Buchner battles behind the net. Chesterfield comes away with it. They go up the sideboards. Good pinch by Malachi Smith. Causes a turnover. And then Buchner now battles, sends it behind the net. Nobody home for the Blues. Chesterfield has it in the corner. Good hit by Zilm. Breaks up the play. Boyer helps him out. He skates it up the sideboards, reverses with nobody to pass to, puts it behind the net for Zilm. Buchner pinches in, helps him out, gets it back to Zilm. Zilm tries to put it to the front of the net. That's picked off. And Chesterfield has numbers coming the other way, but they were offsides and had to stop. Boyer grabs it. He puts it back in, jumps around one man, throws it into the corner, blows a tire, gets back up, and still beats him to the puck. And now Buchner and Boyer battle in the corner. Puck comes out, and some sort of whistle. Chesterfield players playing with a little bit of frustration here, throwing some hits after the whistle. Buchner took a good pop. We'll see what shakes out here. One ref looked like he was throwing up a roughing signal, and it does appear that the Blues are going to go to the power play here with 7:21 left in the second period, as a Falcons player is going to go off 2 minutes for roughing. Blues have a wholesale line change. Crowley centering Schneider and Bowers up front. Peterson, Rubis, the defensive unit. And it looks like Schneider has moved to center. Crowley on the wing. Face-off won by Schneider. Gets it to Bowers. Bowers to Peterson. Peterson back to Bowers. Bowers tries to get to the front. Schneider gets a stick lifted. And Chesterfield's going to clear. Blues got to get back as Chesterfield player beat him to it. And all they're going to do is throw it far corner. Rubis picks it up. He's going to skate out of the zone. He has it knocked off of his stick as he had three forwards ahead of him to pass to, and we didn't see him. Peterson holds it behind the net. Give and go for Rubis. Rubis stops in the corner. He goes far side to Crowley. Crowley's going to cross into the zone. He's got Bowers shooting towards the net. Can't control the pass, and Chesterfield clears it right back out of the zone. Rubis grabs it, reverses. His pass almost picked off. It knocks the stick of Peterson. Peterson, he sends it to Schneider. Schneider has it bounce on his stick, and Chesterfield puts it all the way back in. Not a great start to this power play as the Blues can't even get into the zone. They go, Crowley tries to pass to Rubis, and that's right back out and goes all the way in deep. Crowley picks up the loose puck after the hit by one of the Blues players. Schneider tips it to Rubis. Rubis stops, reverses, stops again. He gets knocked down, pulls it back with his skate, picks up the loose puck, skates around the top of the circle, brings it to the net, tries to get to the front, and goalie just sticks his glove out and covers it. And Blues will finish the line change. Giorgio, Harris, Bauer up front, Miniman, Komodoski, the defensive pair. Face-off won by the Blues back to Komodoski. He goes to Miniman. Miniman back to Komodoski. He's going to take the shot, deflects on net. Good save by the Falcons goalie, and he's going to hold on to it for the whistle. Same unit stays out. 15 seconds left in this power play. Giorgio wins the draw back to Miniman. Miniman goes to Komodoski. Komodoski's pass to the zone picked off. Chesterfield has it knocked off their stick. Miniman puts it back in deep, and Chesterfield sends it all the way down. Komodoski takes a big hit. Chesterfield tried to come away with the puck. They do. Giorgio back now hits his man. Komodoski comes away with the loose puck. He goes far side for Bauer, just out of his reach. And now Bauer's in a foot race for the puck. Chesterfield grabs it. They send it off the boards. They're going to go far side. That puck bounces into the zone, and we are going to have a penalty on somebody, it looks like. Not sure who. So Brandon Bauer going to the box. I don't know why yet, but we'll let you know when we find out. I did not see a roughing, but that's what he got. So Blues go to the penalty kill here with 4:57 left in the second period, up by a goal. Miniman, Komodoski, the defensive pair. Spatansky and Wessel up front. Face-off was won by the Blues. It's up the skate of Miniman. Goes out to the point. They go D to D. They go top of the far circle. Back to the top of the point. Near circle here again. Back to the point. Far side to the other circle. Back to the point. Got room, shot, and goal. Nobody home for the Blues in front, and a tip and a goal. So 4:35 left here in the second period. We are back to a tie game, 2-2. Blues finish the line change. Brooks and Smith come out on defense. Spatansky and Wessel is joined by Blanchard. Face-off won by Chesterfield, who have the momentum right now as the Blues are a little flat-footed. Blues put it in deep. Chesterfield grabs it. They go D to D behind the net. They outlet pass to the boards and then heads up. They've got numbers coming this way if they could get out of their zone, but a good stick by Spatansky breaks that up, and he gets interfered with. No call. Blues and Blanchard and Wessel battle in front. Puck comes out to Wessel. He takes a hard shot, hits the goalie in the chest, bounces up, and he's going to reach out and grab that and be done with it. No change in personnel for the Blues. Offensive zone faceoff will come up to the left of the Falcons goaltender. Spatansky lines up for this draw. He wins it back to Smith. Smith, long shot on net, held on to by the Chesterfield goalie again, and we're going to do it again from the same spot. Face-off this time, won by the Blues again. They send it out to Malachi Smith. He tries to put it on net, gets blocked, and Chesterfield has their pass picked off. Wessel gets it from Spatansky. He takes a long shot. That's on net. Easy glove save by the Chesterfield goalie there, and we will have another stoppage in play with 4:05 left here in the second period. That face-off is won by Chesterfield. They bring it into the neutral zone. Nobody with him, so he's going to throw it far corner. Malachi Smith grabs it. He takes it behind the net. He reverses. He takes a hit. Spatansky helps him out and grabs the puck, goes to Wessel. Wessel brings it into the neutral zone, goes far side for Blanchard. Blanchard crosses into Chesterfield zone, tries to cut towards the net. He gets stood up, and puck goes far corner. Wessel grabs it, and it would appear that the Blues had a high stick there, so the faceoff's going to come all the way back down to the defensive zone. Blues complete a line change. Fugner, Zilm, Boyer up front. Rubis and Peterson, the defensive pair. Face-off won by Fugner. It goes to Boyer. He brings it into Chesterfield zone. He takes down the sideboards, puts it on net. Fugner grabs a loose puck and buries it. Fugner from Boyer on a rebound puts the Blues back up by a goal with 3:25 left here in the second period. So Fugner at 3:25 of the second period puts the Blues back up by a goal after a really smart shot by Boyer off the pad, going for the rebound pass, and it works. Chesterfield wins that center ice face-off. They send it right up the gut, and they've got numbers coming in. Good back check by Peterson and Rubis. Break that up. Boyer sends it up the boards, picked off by Chesterfield. They take a long shot from the point. Easy glove saved by Stutzer. He holds on for the whistle. We're going to have a defensive zone face-off to the left of Stutz.
Go, Liz.
Fugner lines up to take this one. He gets tied up, holds the puck there. Puck squirts out to the point. Long shot. Paddle saved by Stutzer. Goes to the sideboards. Chesterfield picks it back up. They're going to put it in deep. Peterson retreats. He goes behind the net for Rubis. Rubis has it roll off of his stick. Fugner picks up the loose puck. He goes cross ice, tries to hit Boyer. It's going to go off of his stick. It's going to go all the way down. Zilm tries to beat his man to it. Almost does. I think Chesterfield thought that was going to be icing. And Zilm beat everybody to the puck. Chesterfield puts it back into the neutral zone. Rubis grabs it, retreats to the blue zone, circles in front of Stutzer. He comes far side. Now he circles bottom of the circle this time. He's going to go up. He gets it knocked off of his stick. He's going to still battle for it. Chesterfield comes away with it. And their entry is picked off by Peterson. Peterson sends it to Boyer. And Chesterfield puts it back in deep far corner. Rubis retreats to grab that. They go D to D. Peterson now has it. Peterson's going to go for a skate through the neutral zone. He gets it in, takes a long shot. That's on net. Loose puck there. Bowers grabs it, shot wide. Schneider's going to battle in the corner for it. He holds it there, waits for backup. Bowers helps him out. And now two Blues, two Falcons players battle. Puck comes loose. Bauer and Schneider still battling. Puck goes behind the net. Chesterfield comes away with it. They go up the sideboards. And here comes Chesterfield with numbers back towards the blue zone. Shot on net. Komodowski puts it off the board. Schneider tries to put out to the neutral zone. That can't get out. And heads up. Here they come. Good block by Peterson. Schneider hits his, or I'm sorry, that's Komodowski. Schneider hits his man. They go far side. Heads up. Loose puck, and then Stutzer falls on. Blues took exception to the sticks into Stutzer's chest. Blues send out a fresh unit. Smith and Brooks, the defensive pair. Up front, they have Giorgio, Harris, and Bauer. Face-off won by Chesterfield. Unfortunately, for them, their defense can't hold it. They have to retreat into their own zone. They send it back into the neutral zone. Their pass is picked off. They're going to flip it high in the air. It goes on net. Stutzer pushes it to the side for Smith. Smith grabs it high off the boards. Bounces off of Harris's stick. Chesterfield puts it back in deep. Giorgio knocks his man off the puck. Brooks comes away with it. He goes off the dasher. That hits something and bounces high. They go back behind the Blues net. Brooks back battling for it. Heads up, man open. And good heads up play by Stutzer as the Blues kind of got lost there for a minute. And the puck went right towards the net. And there was a wide open Chesterfield player. Defensive zone face-off will come to the right of Stutzer this time. Giorgio lines up to take this one. Face-off won by Chesterfield. Back to the point. Shot just wide far post. I don't think Stutzer could see that. He didn't move much, and there's a whole bunch of traffic. Shot from the top of the far circle. Good save by Stutzer. Then they get it again. Another pad save by Stutzer. Goes far corner. Harris grabs it, puts it high off the boards. It bounces off somebody, goes into the neutral zone. Chesterfield comes away with it, picked off by Bauer. Bauer goes around one man, shakes off a hit. He pushes it back into their zone. And that's going to do it for the second period. As that puck rolls down on net for Stutzer to grab. So after two, Blues lead 3-2 against the Chesterfield Falcons 15U AA team. We'll be back for the third shortly. And we are ready to get the third period started. Blues send out the Spatansky, Wessel, Blanchard line up front. Defensive unit will be Rubis and Peterson. Face off won by the Blues. They send it back to Rubis. Rubis crosses the red line, chips it forward to Blanchard. Blanchard puts it on net. Glove save on the side of the cage by the goaltender, and they're going to hold on to it for a whistle. Blues will have an offensive zone face-off to the left of the Falcons goaltender. Spatansky's going to line up to take that one. Face-off won by Chesterfield. They take it behind their own net. They reverse. They send it up the sideboards. Good hold by Rubis as he reverses and puts it back in deep. Wessel battles for it. He sends it out to the point far side to Peterson. Peterson's shot tipped just wide by Spatansky. Blanchard picks up the loose puck. He tries to send to the front. Nobody home for the Blues. And Chesterfield with numbers to the neutral zone as they take it to the outside. Rubis keeps them there. They put it behind the net. They tip it out front. Nobody home for the Blues. Long shot. Deflects just wide by a Blues shin pad. They send it up the sideboards. Nobody home for the Blues again. And then Chesterfield puts it back. Picked off by Rubis. He sends it up the dasher. And good stick by Blanchard gets it to Spatansky. He gets ran off the puck. Chesterfield turns around, sends it back to the neutral zone. Blanchard picks it up, gives it to... and they're going to call too many men on the Blues. So Blues are going to go on the penalty kill with 14:52 left here in the third period. Komodowski will serve that bench minor. Blues will have Malachi Smith and Miniman, the defensive pair. Zilm and Giorgio will be the offensive unit. for this penalty kill. Blues are hoping to keep this one out of the net. They gave up a shorthanded goal last time, or a power play goal to Chesterfield last time. Chesterfield controls deep in the blue zone. They take it behind the Blues net. They go off the boards, out to the point. They go D to D. Miniman grabs it. He sends it all the way down. No icing because we are playing by midget rules. Chesterfield reverses behind the net. Giorgio keeps him honest. Giorgio gets caught behind the net. Luckily, Chesterfield circles. They go far side. Drop pass at the blue line. Good stick by Giorgio, breaks that up. Chesterfield comes away with it. They go far side out to the point with a good touch pass. They go D to D. They put it behind the Blues net, send it back out to the sideboards. Go out to the top of the point. They go to the shorthand sideboards here, back out to the point. Chesterfield has their umbrella set up. They try to go to the middle. They complete the pass. Good forecheck and pressure by the Blues to keep the shot from coming. Finally, Chesterfield takes a shot from the point and goal. Blues send out Fugner, Zilm, and Boyer after that second power play goal by Chesterfield. They send out Brooks and Rubis as the defensive pair. Face-off won by Chesterfield. They put it back into the Blues zone. Brooks blows a tire. Fugner back covering in the defensive zone. Chesterfield sends it behind the Blues net. That bounces right in front. Brooks, who has regained his feet, grabbed that. His pass far side for Zilm out of his reach. Chesterfield grabs it. They put it back in deep behind the Blues net. Brooks grabs it. He goes up the sideboards for Zilm, just out of his reach. Good stick check by Fugner, and he's got a breakaway. Here comes Fugner. Shot goal by Fugner. Puts the Blues right back up by a goal on a great tap around the defenseman and puts himself on a breakaway and buries it. So Fugner with the second goal of the game puts the Blues back up by a goal with 13:05 left here in the third period. Blues make a fresh line change. Miniman Komodowski, the defensive pair. Crowley centering Schneider and Bowers. Chesterfield's center gets tossed. Crowley ties his man up. Blues win the draw back to Miniman. Miniman sends it to Komodowski. Komodowski far side back to Miniman. Miniman crosses the red line, crosses into the zone. He gets knocked off the puck. Chesterfield now has two men there. Schneider helps Miniman in the corner here. Puck is not moving, and now it finally squirts behind the net. Chesterfield touches it forward. Bowers with the good stick breaks that play up. He sends it back to Komodowski. Komodowski to Miniman again. Miniman back to Komodowski. Komodowski hits Bowers, bounces off of his stick, and Miniman sends it back to Komodowski. Komodowski tries to hit Schneider, bounces on him, and Blues can get absolutely nothing going on this shift as they can't even get out of their own zone. Komodowski sends up to Bowers. Bowers chips it to Crowley. Crowley around his man. He's got room now. Tried to hit Schneider. Schneider rocks the post, and here comes Chesterfield back with it as they cross through the neutral zone. Blues are back. Chesterfield gets the puck knocked off their stick by, Crowley comes away with the loose puck. He crosses the neutral zone, gives it to Bowers. Bowers, he puts it in deep, and the Blues are changing. What a great opportunity for that last shift as they couldn't get much going. And then all of a sudden, great pass by Crowley, and Schneider dings it off the post. Blues finish the line change. Here comes Spatansky. He's got room, tips it forward to Blanchard. Blanchard pushes it in deep, and he's heavy on the forecheck. Uses his skate to break that up. Spatansky helps him up, shakes off a hit. Chesterfield comes away with it. Blanchard grabs a loose puck as it hit off of his arm as they tried to clear high, and he's stung a little bit. Puck comes loose, shot by Wessel, saved, and Chesterfield's goalie now has a pad malfunction, so he's going to have to fix that. He's got his whole pad off. Look at that. This is probably going to be a minute, so we'll be back shortly. And we are ready to get started. Spatansky's line will continue with Rubis and Peterson on defense. Face-off won by Chesterfield. Blanchard heavy on the forecheck. They have to reverse behind their own net. They send it up the short boards here. And heads up, they make a great seam pass, and they are wide open, and somehow they were unable to get that puck in the net while Stutzer was on his back. Blues come out of their own zone with it. Wessel crosses. They go far side. Spatansky picks off that pass. Blanchard puts it back down deep for him. Chesterfield grabs it. Bad exit attempt. Picked off by Blanchard. Blanchard gives it to Wessel. Wessel out to the point to Rubis. Rubis shot. That's tipped down low by Spatansky. Doesn't get through. And good glove by Rubis holds that in at the line again. Chesterfield now goes behind their net. Big hit by Wessel, and they're going to call that shitty penalty. Excuse my language, because that was a clean after the play hit. And Wessel's going to go to the box for interference when that is absolutely not interference. Maybe a rough if you're a crappy ref, but certainly not interference. So Blues go to the penalty kill with 10:09 left here in the third period, up by a goal. Blues send out Giorgio and Zilm up front with Brooks and Smith, the defensive pair. Face-off won by Chesterfield. They go D to D out to the top of the point. They go D to D again. One more time. Wide open shot on net and held on to by Stutzer for a whistle. And face-off again won by Chesterfield. The defenseman skates the line. Shot. Rebound in front. Nobody home again for the Blues. And that is our third power play goal against the Blues today, as we should probably work on that in practice. Brutal. Blues back to full strength after that goal by the Falcons. They send out Komodowski and Miniman on defense. Harris up front with Giorgio and Bauer. And face-off one, Miniman goes D to Komodowski. Komodowski gives it to Harris. He chips it forward into the zone. Bauer now on the forecheck. Chesterfield sends it behind, pinched in by Miniman. He takes a late hit, gets it to Harris. Harris has it knocked off his stick, and here comes Chesterfield back out with it. Their pass hits off a Giorgio's shin pad. Komodowski's pass almost picked off. Giorgio grabs it, sends it to Miniman. Miniman far side hits Harris. Harris brings it in, drops it for Bauer. Bauer tries to give it back to Harris and gets knocked off of his stick. Giorgio grabs a loose puck. Nobody home, drops it back to Miniman. Miniman gets it to Harris. Harris back to Miniman. He goes over to Komodowski. Komodowski with space shot. That's tipped on net. Good save by Chesterfield's goalie. Puck squirts back out to the point. And it's loose in front. And Chesterfield's goalie drops down on it for a whistle. Blues send out a fresh unit. Fugner with Boyer and Zilm up front. Rubis and Peterson, the defensive unit. Fugner wins the draw to Zilm. Zilm sends it back to Rubis. Rubis, long shot. That's blocked. And here comes Chesterfield into the blue zone. Their pass picked off by Rubis. He circles. Then circles again the other way, sends it hard behind the boards. Boyer's going to have to retreat back to the blue zone. He takes a big late hit, and that's going to be a penalty against Chesterfield, as that was a high late hit. So Blues will go to the power play with 8:34 left. Chesterfield player arguing his case, but that was clearly a dirty late hit. So he's going to go spend some time in the penalty box for a roughing minor. So Blues keep the same unit on the ice. Fugner up front with Boyer and Zilm. Defensive unit will be Peterson and Rubis continuing. Blues would like to get a power play goal here of their own to get back up on top by a goal. Fugner lines up for the defensive zone or offensive zone face-off to the left of the Falcons goaltender. Referee pushes him out of the circle. Face-off won by Fugner. He gets his own puck, sends it back to the point to Peterson, or to Rubis. Rubis, Peterson. Fugner has it shot. Good save by the goaltender through traffic. Exit pass picked off by Peterson. Peterson's shot. That goes just over the glove. Fugner grabs it, tips it around into the corner. He gives it to Boyer. Boyer goes up the boards to Rubis. Rubis, sauce pass to Peterson. Peterson skates the line, goes back to Rubis. Rubis to Fugner. Fugner stops at the top of the circle. He goes far side to Peterson. Peterson back to Rubis. Rubis shot on, loose puck. Nobody home for the Blues as Boyer couldn't get a stick on it. And Fugner's pass to the point is off the mark, and Rubis has to retrieve it. He gives it back to Fugner. Fugner's going to bring it back in. He's got a little bit of space. Shot. That goes in. Fugner with the hat trick. At 7:44 left here in the third period to put the Blues back up by one. That's Fugner's third of the game. And he's humming tonight, folks. Chesterfield fans arguing that the net was off. Little do they know that the rule is if the goalie knocks it off himself, play continues. So right call by the officials. Blues send out a fresh unit. Crowley, Schneider, Bowers up front. Face-off won by Chesterfield, and then they put it into their own bench. And what should be a offensive zone face-off will most likely be a neutral zone face-off because why not? And it is. Smith and Brooks, the defensive pair with the Crowley unit. Face-off won by Chesterfield. They circle in their own zone. They go D to D. Schneider in on the forecheck. They go D to D again. They send it up the boards. And good hold by Malachi Smith at the red line as Bowers comes away with the puck, sends it back to Smith. Smith goes far side, deflects off somebody, goes high. Exit pass picked off by Brooks at the point. Crowley now in on the forecheck, disrupts the exit, and then the exit pass picked off by Bowers. Bowers tries to get to the front, and heads up, here they come back out. Their pass picked off by Smith, and he goes to Peter Brooks. Brooks puts it back in deep, goes far corner, held at the point by Smith. Smith gets around one man, gets it to Bowers. Bowers pass back to Smith. He's going to skate it down deep, looking for somebody. Tries to get to Schneider. Schneider gets tied up in front, and loose puck. Chesterfield comes away with it. Heads up. They've got numbers against the Blues. Good back check by Smith, and somebody's going to the penalty box. I'm not sure who. Looks like it's Schneider, and I don't know what they're calling. They're calling a cross check against Schneider with 6:37 left here in the third period. Blues send out Miniman and Komodowski on defense. The forward unit will be Spatansky and Wessel. Face-off, won by the Blues, taken over by Chesterfield. They put it back in the corner. Komodowski chases it. Chesterfield comes away with it. They go out to the sideboards, to the top of the point now, back to the top of the circle. He's got room, nobody there. He skates, he goes back to the point, back to the top of the circle. Put it in deep behind the Blues goal line, send it back out to the point. Back down to the side of the circle, back out to the point. Top of the circle again. They're not finding what they want here. High pass caught by player on the far circle. The next pass off the mark goes deep into the corner. Komodowski hits his man. They're going to skate it around, back out to the point. Back down to the corner. Point again. D to D to the other point. Far circle. Back to the point. Shot. Fanned on. Gets through. Good stick by Komodowski. Breaks that up. He sends it up the boards. Picked off by Chesterfield. And then they're right back on the attack. Far side. Try to hit it out of midair. Komodowski picks up the loose puck. Sends it behind the other way. Miniman battles on the sideboards. Puck goes back to the corner. Heads up, Blues out of position. Goes far side. Blues struggling to maintain their box here. Go far side again. And wow, wide open net missed by Chesterfield. And then they missed a pass, which would have been another wide open. Good one-touch pass back to the top of their circle. Far side, right in the middle of the slot. And, oh, shot goes wide. I thought that was in. So Blues really need to push this out. I don't know if they realize you can ice the puck in the rules tonight. And Miniman's going to go to the box for a checking from behind. So 4:46 left. Blues are going to have a 5-on-3 penalty kill for 10 seconds. Then Schneider comes out of the box. Let's see what they call here. Looked like a from behind to me. Yep, 2 and a 10 for checking from behind for Miniman. So he will go to the box for 2. Blues will have to send another player to cover the minor penalty. So that'll do it for Miniman's night, as we only have 4 minutes left. Bowers heads to the box to cover that penalty. Blues send out Giorgio as the forward man. Rubis and Peterson the defensive pair. Face-off is won by Chesterfield. Long shot, saved by Stutzer. The clock is not started. And shot blocked, stops in front. And clock didn't start here for a while. Puck goes back behind the net. They try to get to the front. That puck is blocked. Goes back to the corner. They send it out to the point, and it is messed up. Good play, forecheck by Schneider, and here comes Giorgio with space. Can't get around the last man, but does enough to keep it deep, as that was a good way to waste some time on the penalty kill here. Here comes Chesterfield back through, one touch pass back to the red line. They're going to skate it in now. Broke up by Rubis. He sends it back up into the zone. Zilm on the forecheck. They go D to D in their own zone. Their pass is picked up. Oh, and Giorgio has it bounce right over his stick as he was wide open and picked off the pass, but it bounced on him. Long shot pass by Chesterfield goes far side. Man misses the net. That was a good opportunity for them. Long shot. Puck's in front, and they're calling goal. So Chesterfield on their 4th power play goal of the game tie this game back up 5-5. Bowers comes out of the box. And the refs are talking, so I don't know if they're not sure about a goal or not, but we'll see what happens. Looks like they're going to leave it as a goal. And it is a goal. So 3:34 left here in the third period. This game's tied 5-5. Face-off won by Chesterfield. We've got the Spatansky, Wessel, Blanchard line out after that goal. Malachi Smith and Brooks, the defensive pair. Here comes Chesterfield. They send it to the outside around Malachi Smith. They beat him to the puck. Spatansky grabs it behind the net. He hits Wessel. Wessel's going to skate it into the neutral zone. Crosses the red line. Reverses. He goes to Spatansky. Spatansky to Smith. Smith shot and goal! Malachi Smith from Spatansky and Wessel put the Blues back up by a goal here with 3:16 left in the third period on what is just a back and forth game. And you take away the 4 power play goals for Chesterfield, and this is a very different game. Beauty of a finish by Malachi Smith. Even better pass by Spatansky to get it to him. All around, great goal. Face-off won by Chesterfield. The Blues have no change in personnel. D-to-D pass off the mark. Wessel now breaks up the exit attempt. They get it back out. Spatansky picks it up. He goes to Wessel in the corner. Wessel back out to Brooks. Brooks with space, shot, hits a shin pad, bounces all the way out to the neutral zone. Malachi Smith has to get on his horse, and he loses the battle to the puck, but does enough to disrupt the shot. Stutzer gets a pad on it, sends it far side. Wessel sends it far side for Blanchard. Blanchard chips it around, goes into the corner with it. He gets knocked off the puck. He battles 2 men. Blues starting a line change. Blanchard grabs the loose puck. He gets knocked to the ice by a stick, no call. And Chesterfield reclaims it. They go back the other way. Blanchard grabs the loose puck, tries to get it to the center, nobody there. Harris comes away with it, takes it behind the net. He sends it up the sideboards. Good pinch by Brooks, holds it there. Harris goes far side to Smith. Smith puts it back in deep. Giorgio behind the net grabs it, gives it back to Harris. Harris goes out to Smith. Smith over to his partner, Brooks. Brooks' shot stopped in front. Giorgio's pass picked off. Chesterfield pass picked off again. Heads up. Chesterfield has a 2-on-1 back. Good back check by Bauer. Breaks that up. Malachi Smith comes away with the loose puck as he grabbed that. Harris comes away with it. Drops it for Giorgio. Giorgio back to Harris. Harris sends it out to the point to Bauer. Bauer's shot. That goes just wide. Brooks pinches far side. Puts it back in deep. Blues finishing a line change, or in the process of a line change. Good play by Harris and Smith to hold that in. Great play by Harris again. He has it and tries to get it to Smith. Hits a skate in front. Harris grabs it and takes it far side. Malachi Smith battles with him. Giorgio there. They're going to battle there. Comes out to Bauer. Bauer tries to get to the front. He gets knocked down. Chesterfield comes away with it. And here they come in the neutral zone. Good stick by Bowers. Breaks that up. Looks like Chesterfield is electing not to pull their goalie down by a goal with a minute left. Chesterfield comes away with the loose puck. Good stick by Bowers. Breaks up their exit attempt, or their pass to the point. Then he picks off the next pass. He gets it to Boyer. Boyer crosses in, takes it to the outside. Nowhere to go. Throws it back behind the net. Chesterfield grabs it. They go D to D. They try to hit a seam pass. Hits their man stick. Goes to Peterson. Peterson back to Boyer. Boyer puts it back in. Goalie deflects it into the netting. So we'll have an offensive zone face-off to the left of the Knights goaltender with 32.4 seconds left here in the game. And Blues send out Crowley, Schneider, Bowers up front. Defensive unit looks like Komodowski and Rubis. Face-off won by Chesterfield. They go D to D in their own zone. Bowers holds them at the blue line. Crowley steps up. Schneider now on the forecheck. They get it the other way. Their pass out of the reach. Nobody saw that guy far side. Good pick off by Crowley, and here come the Blues. Back in. Crowley has it. His shot, that goes far side wide. Blues unable to hold. Schneider's going to pick up the loose puck in the neutral zone. He puts it back in, and that goes all the way back down, and this game is over. So your Blues win a very unusual game, 6-5. Gave up 4 power play goals to Chesterfield today. Grant Fugner with his first hat trick as a Blue put in 3, and that's going to do it for us. We'll be back next weekend from Chicago for the Reapers Showcase. We have games Friday, Saturday, and I'm not sure about Sunday. But until next Friday, see ya.